Hi, everyone. Welcome to this special session on Kerala HSST exam. We are going to do some questions related to Kerala HSST exam. Are you ready? We have prepared questions. Today, I'm doing it alone. Ankita is not there. So, HSST exam is very near, and a lot of our students are taking the exam. I'm sure they are also watching us now. This is session number 4. Identify the statements which are true regarding Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. Chaucer is indebted to Boccaccio for the general idea of the Canterbury Tales. That is right. We know Chaucer is indebted to Boccaccio's Decameron. The Canterbury Tales is a collection of 24 tales in verse and prose. You might know this is right. 23 pilgrims tell stories, 24 stories are there altogether. Some of the tales are incomplete, told as entertainment by a group of pilgrims riding from London to the shrine of St. Thomas à Becket in Canterbury. Harry Bailey is the owner of the Tabard Inn who volunteers to travel with the pilgrims. All three are correct, aren't they? Harry Bailey is the host, the owner of the Tabard Inn. That is also right. So, answer is D, 1, 2, 3. So, that was an easy one. Again, second question is also choose the wrong statement. Not right this time. You have to choose the wrong statement. Baka works as a sweeper responsible for cleaning latrines in the town of Bulasha, that is in Untouchable. Baka is the protagonist, the town is Bulasha, and Baka is a sweeper boy. Baka is punished and humiliated after he touches a high caste Hindu in the market. Is that true? Baka accidentally touches a high caste Hindu in the market, having forgotten to call out his arrival. He has to call out so that people will know the untouchable is coming. But he forgot to call out. He was looking at the scenes and he stood there. That is right. The character who advocates for introduction of flush toilets as a solution to end human scavengership is Iqbal Nath Sarshar. Who is he? He is a poet. That is also true. That is also true. The novel Untouchable covers a span of 1 full year in the life of the protagonist Baka. No, 1 full year is in Coolie, Munuz, 1 full year in his life. In the case of Untouchable, it is 1 day in the life of the protagonist Baka. Coolie is almost 1 year. Right, 1 day. It is a circadian novel. Right, guys? Okay, so that is the answer. Now, in Edmund Spenser's Epithalamion, the 24 stanzas and 365 long lines. Do you remember? In Epithalamion, there are 24 stanzas and 365 long lines. They are structured to symbolically represent what? The 24 characters and 365 days of courtship. No. The 24 hours of a day and 365 days of the year. Yeah, that is the correct answer. There are 24 long lines, 365 long lines and 24 stanzas in Spenser's marriage song, Epithalamion. What is the refrain of Epithalamion? And the woods shall to be answer, and my echo ring. Isn't it? Epithalamion was published along with Amority. Amority. Epithalamion is addressed to Elizabeth Boyle. Epithalamion has a meter which is based on the Italian canzoni meter. Italian canzoni meter. Okay, next question. In Walter Scott's Ivanhoe, it is one of the 2 novels of Walter Scott set in England. Ivanhoe and Kenilworth. Ivanhoe is also prescribed for the HSST exam. Ivanhoe. Why does Cedric the Saxon disinherit his son Wilfred of Ivanhoe? for marrying Rowena, for supporting Prince John, for loving Rebecca, for his allegiance to King Richard and loyalty to Norman-aligned cause. Do you remember Ivanhoe? Ivanhoe is based on the politics in the time of the Saxons, right? And Rebecca and Rowena are two important characters in Ivanhoe, isn't it? Who wrote Rebecca and Rowena based on Ivanhoe? It is William Makepeace Thackeray who wrote Rebecca and Rowena based on Ivanhoe. This is a very important, influential historical novel which tells the story of Wilfred of Ivanhoe. Is he a Saxon? Yes, he is a Saxon. And he was disinherited by Cedric for his loyalty to the Norman king Richard. What is his other name? Richard the Lionheart. And also his love for Rowena. Actually, most important is option 4, but Rowena is also, his love for Rowena is also a small issue there. Okay? Is Wilfred of Ivanhoe a chivalrous hero? Yes, he is a chivalrous hero. Who is the who is the character with unrequited love for Ivanhoe? Who is the central character? It is Rebecca. Rebecca. Is Robin Hood appearing in this novel, Ivanhoe? Yes, Robin Hood is appearing as a character, Locksley in Ivanhoe. I hope you remember all this, HSST students. It is a very dense historical novel, Ivanhoe. Okay, according to Jürgen Habermas, modernity and unfinished project. Do you remember Jürgen Habermas? He is the author of Modernity and Unfinished Project, and he also died recently, isn't it? What is the primary goal of the project of modernity? What is the primary goal of the project of modernity? This is the question here. Is it to reject all traditions and embrace postmodern relativism? Is it to reject all traditions and to embrace postmodern relativism? To develop objective science, universal morality, and the law according to their inner logic? To replace rational discourse with aesthetic experience? To return to the social structures of the pre-Enlightenment era? So, modernity and unfinished project defends Enlightenment. Enlightenment had the goal of using reason, science, and universal morality, isn't it? Everybody should be moral, universal morality in order to improve human life. So, the primary goal is objective science, universal morality, and law. That is the thing. Actually, he's against postmodernist claims. Jürgen Habermas is against postmodernist claims that modernity has failed. He contends that it is not failed, modernity is not failed, but it is only unfinished. Right? Modernity's aims are still relevant, but we need to integrate these goals and work on it better. Rather than abandoning reason or giving up on reason, Habermas says that we should have a continued commitment to reason. We should have a very just and rational society. That is what he says. Okay. Match the playwright or play with the list. Okay. List 1 and list 2. Girish Karnad Nagamandala. Is it organ trading and futuristic dystopia? Mythological snake and female agency? Yes, that is the answer. Nagamandala, mythological snake. Vijay Tendulkar, Silence the Court is in Session. Is it about Bharatanatyam gender roles? Or is it about mock trial and patriarchal hypocrisy? Silence the Court is in Session, mock trial and patriarchal hypocrisy. Isn't it? Leela Banare is put under mock trial. And the hypocrites who are her friends, are all exposed by Leela Benare's own monologue. Harvest, what is it about? It is about organ trading and futuristic dystopia. Dance Like a Man, it is about Bharatanatyam, gender roles, and intergenerational conflict. So, answer must be A2, B4, C1, D3. Okay, in which of these works that are given here, there are many works given here. In which of these works do we have, let me see, a blind woman coming on the back, on the shoulder of her son? That is in Nagamandala, Kurudava, coming on the shoulders of Kappanna, isn't it? Kappanna. Okay. In which of these, do you see, in which of these plays given here, do you see a woman shut up in a console inside which she is given some artificial food and she can watch TV all the time? That is the mother of Om Prakash in Harvest, isn't it? Do you know which award Harvest won? It is the Greek Onassis Award. The Greek Onassis Award. It was for that award that the play was written. Right. Jagriti Sabha is enacting this play. Which play? Jagriti Sabha. It is Silence, the Court is in Session. What is the original language in which it was written? It is Marathi. Shantada, court chalu hai, isn't it? Yes. Which of these plays uses different levels of the stage? It is Dance Like a Man. And people doing double roles also are there. People are doing double roles also. Isn't it? Very good. Now, be sure, don't let people telling you are pretty puff you up, for you did not make yourself, and so can have no praise due to you for it. It is virtue and goodness only that make true beauty. That looks very traditional. This passage looks very traditional. Is it Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Pamela, Mansfield Park, or Mrs. Dalloway? All these are prescribed for HSST. Don't let people tell you are beautiful. Your virtue and goodness only will make beauty. It is from Pamela, where it is a very traditional view of gender and beauty that we get. Right? It is from Pamela. Right. So right now the net 1 month crash course is going on. We are starting revisions. There will be audio revisions, lots of it. There will be structured revisions live on Zoom. There will be topic-wise quizzes, polls, and also model tests. If you miss this bus, it won't be good. If you want to get JRF this time, do not just try to save this 1 month's effort. Put in your best test efforts. I will be with you and you can do it. Okay, now is the time to join and pass this exam and get over with it. I think that is a wise thing to do. And the fees is also very less. Next question is from Elaine Showalter. In Feminist Criticism in the Wilderness, which model does Elaine Showalter propose as the most comprehensive for analyzing women's literature? Which is the model for analyzing women's literature, arguing it subsumes the biological, linguistic, and psychoanalytic models. In Feminist Criticism in the Wilderness, which model does Elaine Showalter propose? Is it psychological model, comprehensive analysis of women's literature? Is it through psychological model, gynocentric model, cultural model, or feminine model? No, gynocriticism was Elaine Showalter's term. Gynocentrism, she did not talk about. It cannot be gynocentrism. Okay? She talked about gynocriticism. And Elaine Showalter says that something subsumes, it includes biological, linguistic, and psychoanalytic. So it cannot be psychological model. If it contains psychoanalytic, it cannot be psychological. Feminine is a very traditional word. Elaine Sholder will talk about feminists. Now, it is therefore a cultural model. It is related to gynocriticism. Women's literature can be analyzed in their own terms. Women's literature is a part of the female subculture that we can say, right? So remember, it is the cultural model. What is the preliminary version of a portrait of the artist as a young man? The portrait of the artist as a young man. Who wrote it? It is James Joyce. And when was it published? 1916. What was the first version called? That version was full of improper references, and he had no publisher accepting it. So finally, what did James Joyce write? First he wrote Stephen Hero, and then he rewrote it as the portrait of the artist as a young man. Okay, portrait of the artist as a young man is a study of Stephen Dedalus and his consciousness, his maturation. It's a Kunstler romance from childhood to adulthood to young adolescence to young adulthood, we can say. From childhood to adolescence to young adulthood, his development. And he is escaping from the three nets that entrap him. He's escaping from family, religion, and nation, and realizing that he needs freedom. There is a technique that James Joyce uses, a sudden spiritual manifestation happens to Stephen Dedalus several times. What is that called? It is called epiphany. Epiphany. And also, is Stephen, as a young man in the university, interested in aesthetic theory? Yes, he is interested in the aesthetic theory of St. Thomas Aquinas. He also refers to Aristotle. And is Stephen desiring to escape from Ireland? Yes, he is escaping from Ireland. Stephen Hero is the original name. The Battle of the Books by Jonathan Swift, that is the next topic here. It is a satirical response to which work? The Battle of the Books by Jonathan Swift is a satirical response to whether it is Bentley's Phalaris or Temple's essay upon ancient and modern learning, Dryden's essay of dramatic poesy, or Pope's Dunciad. Remember, William Temple was Swift's patron. William Temple wrote essay upon ancient and modern learning, which supported the ancients. And the critics of Temple attacked Temple for supporting, the ancients. Particularly, he wrote about one man called Phalaris, who wrote some epistles. And when his patron William Temple was attacked severely, Jonathan Swift wrote The Battle of the Books, published in 1704. The Battle of the Books came as the prolegomena, or prologue, to A Tale of a Tub. It is based on an imaginary battle that happens in St. James's Library between the ancient books and the modern books, between ancient and modern learning. The modern books are very proud. They are represented by a spider, and they want to inhabit the top shelf. Aesop is talking about the spider and the bee, who are in the corner of the library. And this is a metaphor for moderns and ancients. Okay, the moderns are led by goddess criticism, and finally the moderns are defeated by the ancients. That is how it is. Isn't it, guys? Now consider the following statements regarding the imagery in Second Coming. Imagery in Second Coming. The poem suggests a linear progression of history. Do you think it is a linear progression of history towards a Christian utopia? The poem suggests a linear progression of history. Then that sounds wrong. Whenever you say extreme things. See, extreme things, linear. That sounds wrong. The widening gyre symbolizes the breakdown of societal order. Traditional societal order is symbolized by widening gyre, turning and turning in the widening gyre. The falcon cannot hear the falconer, isn't it? That is right. The blood-dimmed tide is a reference to the peace following World War One. It is not peace. Blood-dimmed tide is referring to World War One only. That is wrong. Spiritus Mundi. What is that? Spiritus Mundi. In Second Coming, there is a sphinx rising out of Spiritus Mundi. It refers to a collective consciousness from which the poet draws his vision. True, collective consciousness of humanity. That is what is called Spiritus Mundi. So options 2 and 4 are correct. Options 2 and 4 are correct. Okay, which Foucauldian concept does epistemology of the closet primarily apply to analyze the homosexual or heterosexual binary? Which is the Foucauldian concept in epistemology of the closet? That is a very important work by Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick, isn't it? Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick wrote about epistemology of the closet. It is a pioneering work of queer studies published in 1990, the same year as Gender Trouble. So you have to analyze, in order to understand modern Western culture, you have to analyze the homosexual, heterosexual definition, binary. Which concept, Foucauldian concept, refers to this? Is it panopticism? Foucault talked about it. Is it Foucault's concepts of sexuality? Is it Foucault's concept of episteme? Is it Foucault's concept of heteronormativity? Obviously, that is a very straightforward question, but those who overthink can go wrong. What is the answer? Foucault's discourse on sexuality, isn't it? So Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick is arguing that any aspect of Western culture is to take into account heterosexual, homosexual, binary. Everything should be focused on this. The closet is a metaphor. It is a state that governs knowledge. The closet is how knowledge is governed as one limited space. Okay, who knows what and where power works. It is closeted. One limit. Knowledge is a limited space controlled by the powerful. That is what it means. Sedgwick talks about two ways in which society views homosexuality. Here she talks about how society looks at homosexuality as minority. And, she also talks about how homosexual sexuality should be considered relevant to everyone. There is a universalizing that she talks about. The boundaries of sexuality are fluid. Even those who consider themselves heterosexual can also be homosexual, bisexual. Sexuality is not a rigid boundary. So she is deconstructing the boundary. She's talking about gender fluidity. Okay. The belief that homosexuality is minority, that is a mainstream belief. Only some people are minority. But Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick says there is an element of homosexuality everywhere, in everyone. Sexuality is fluid. Okay, did you get that? Right. Now, remember, those who are preparing for HSST, you can also join the 1-month crash course if you are studying for NET. Even otherwise, you can start studying in 1 month itself. We'll do amazing revision. Our revisions are very, very awesome. I have 1-minute codes for everything. Even one whole page you can cover in 1 minute. Like that we do. Okay, so join the crash course. It is only 5,000 rupees, but you get a lot of material in the form of quizzes and also model tests. It is worth every paisa. So thank you very much. All the best. We will be back with more and wish you a wonderful evening. Bye.